Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video. So Orla and I were on our way home from last week's video, which was marvelous. I hope you all agree, and well, I hope it was. And we wanted to come into here. We are at a place called Zena, how do you say it? Zena do Mar, and it is one of the spots that I want to take people when they come to do my photography workshop here. And we came essentially to scout, but then it got to me thinking, I wonder if it's possible to take any kind of meaningful photos in the middle of the day. I mean, it's now 11 o'clock, and I've just been doing some random kind of test shots, and yeah, I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing on the back of the camera. So the aim of the game today is to take photographs in the middle of the day, and let's see if we can make them work. Now, it's going to be all 10-stop, 30-second, 20-second exposures. That's the idea. Now, thankfully, you know, using seascape photography as your kind of niche would also be a huge benefit for taking photos in the middle of the day like that, because adding long exposures to the water really helps. So anyways, we are going to try our best to take some nice pictures, and if any of them turn out, this may actually become a video. So let's see how we get on. Welcome friends to the ASMR photography studio, and welcome to the middle of the day. Who'd have thought we could achieve anything in such harsh light? But you know what, I'm actually kind of surprised. I really like how this first image turned out, and particularly black and white. I did sprinkle a few black and whites throughout this video, so if you enjoy that, you're in for a treat. But overall, I really like this. Again, like I emphasized at the beginning, shooting long exposures, particularly at seascapes, I think would lend itself a bit better to shooting in the middle of the day like this, because shooting longer just adds this kind of more creative aspect to a frame. Creating an image like this, to me, really almost makes it look more like a postcard image. Adding in a bit of black and white as well really helps to emphasize the overall frame. But as a start, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Okay, so folks, we have descended only to immediately begin ascending up the hill, and it's really great. And you know, looking here, this is like photography heaven, because there's a beautiful sea arch. Maybe Senior Spielbergo can do a quick pan across to the beautiful sea arch. Now bear in mind obviously that the tide is pretty much at its lowest point. It's on its way back in at the moment, but if you can picture all of this with beautiful water all around it and crashing waves, and oh wow, it's just like seascape photography heaven. So really it looks absolutely gorgeous. But what we're going to do for today right now is we're going to essentially, we are on a trail. It's a very popular hiking trail that runs like pretty much almost the length of the coast here, called the Road to Vicentina. And it's I think it's a multi-day hike. I don't know how long exactly it is, but this trail that we're on is essentially part of that hike. Oh, and that's me getting delirious thinking about walking that long. And so we're going to walk up to the top here, and essentially you can walk all the way to the edge of this cliff here, and hopefully we can get some kind of nice vistas that we can take advantage of. Even though it's the middle of the day, we can still slow down the water and see if we can make any kind of photos happen at all. So let's have an adventure and let's see what magic we can muster. This particular image is just more of a grander scaled image from the first one that we looked at. We had come up this hillside and it opened up into such a beautiful vista overlooking this harbour and these beautiful sea stacks. And one thing that I was really delighted about looking at the back of the camera and then going through the processing stages of these images was just how vibrant everything looked. You know, shooting in the middle of the day, it's not like as perceived as like oh hey, that's the best time to go out and shoot landscapes, and I totally understand that. But nonetheless, yeah, I don't know, they'll get some pretty nice results from just randomly shooting in the middle of the day. And if nothing else, it's always good to get out and shoot regardless of what time of day it is, because it gives you a really good excuse and reason to practice more composition and to practice more just generally being in nature, because it's always a plus to have that as well. So folks, this is actually quite nice. One of the beautiful things about long exposure photography, regardless of the time of day or not, is the whitewash that you can see that's all happening around the rocks. Well, at least I hope you can see, because you can really use that to take advantage of. It adds this nice extra bit of motion and just this extra layer of depth to your frame. Now granted, in the middle of the day, we all know that the sun is direct and there's no crazy kind of nice deep shadows and all that kind of stuff, but you never know. You know, it's always worth testing these things, but it's still a beautiful, beautiful view. And while I'm looking in the back of that viewfinder, I have to wonder to myself, I wonder if some of these images could work well as black and white images. So not only are we photographing in the middle of the day, we may also be taking photographs that could work very well as black and white images. And if you've been following along for a little while, you know I'm on a bit of a black and white photography journey. So these could be very good examples of how I can utilize some new skills that I've been practicing over a little while and see if they turn out. So if this particular frame that I'm looking at, I'm very much thinking 16:9 crop or a kind of X-pan kind of vibe, just to get these little islands, because they're so beautifully separated from the view that we have here. And as I say, with that nice long exposure, I'm shooting at about 30 seconds, and that nice bit of whitewash that's crashing around the water really just adds this lovely layering effect. And I think it's really, really nice. So let's see if I can make them look anyway good, and if they are, I'll pop them up on the screen for you and walk you through them now. Classic ASMR photography lab style. So just to hammer home this sense of vibrance, I'm delighted that I decided to crop it into a more letterboxed kind of scene. There was a bit of protruding rock into the frame that I couldn't get out of the frame. Just I would have fallen off the cliff. But I really, really like how this one turned out. Again, it's that vibrancy, and that the contrasts of the colors is really, really great and super strong. And I really, really like the separation between the individual sea stacks and protruding kind of mounds of land. I don't know what they are, stones or rocks, but I'm super, super happy with how this one turned out. Thankfully there's no horizon line, folks, because Senior Spielbergo is having an awful time trying to keep it level because we left the other tripod in the van. But wow, this has opened up to a beautiful expanse. We are now looking south along the coast here, and then this is obviously north along the coast here, and there is lots to play with. And there is this beautiful jagged seascape or sea stack jutting up out of the water that I'm photographing now at the moment. So let's see if that image works out, and I'll pop it up on the screen for you now. So this last frame, wow, what an absolutely beautiful, beautiful view. I couldn't believe it. It's like a shark's fin or a dragon's tooth coming up out of the water, and I really, really like how this image turned out. It's like, it almost looks fake or something. It's wild. I really, really like it. Now I did do a black and white version of this image too, and I would like to hear your opinion on whether you guys prefer the color or the black and white image. But just overall, as a general area to come and photograph, this place has absolutely colossal potential. It's so beautiful. Now this black and white image that you're going to see right now, again, it's literally just the same picture but just converted into black and white and kind of processed in a particular way. So I would be very, very curious to hear your thoughts on whether you prefer the color or the black and white. The color one looks like crazy fake, I don't know, but at least the black and white one kind of tends to mask that fakeness or something. I don't know, but it's again, I don't know, I like them both. The vibrancy of the first, but then obviously that kind of contrastiness of the second really kind of pops it a bit more. So I'd be very curious to hear your thoughts, so do let me know in the comments below. So folks, I am absolutely delighted that we decided to veer off the road and come and check this place out, because it has huge potential, like really, really massive potential. And my only regret is that we never came earlier. But like I say, it is absolutely on the itinerary for the workshop that I have planned here in November. And we were just discussing that in November, the swells will be a bit more kind of hardcore, and we'd really be able to capture some of that energy. And looking down here, like I mentioned earlier, the archway is gorgeous. But anyways, I digress. I will leave a link in the description to that workshop if you fancy joining next year in November, and also a link to my newsletter. If you want to read my rambles, you're most welcome to sign up to my newsletter. You get discounts and all sorts of fun stuff there too, and just ramblings. I do love a good ramble. But anyways, if you like this video, folks, please do hit that like button. And if you do fancy following along for more adventures like this one, by all means, hit that subscribe button. It really, really does help out a lot. And I am absolutely thrilled. So I'm delighted. What a perfect, perfect way to end our morning. So take it easy, everybody. Cheers.